What's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather. I'm one third of your Nomad Gamers. So we've made it through another week. It is Thirsty Thursday. You could probably hear an annoying mower going off pretty close to the Shire right now, but I don't know why they have to mow at 5 o'clock in the evening instead of sometime during the day. But that's a whole other story. So with Thirsty Thursday being kicking off, let's get into our socials. They're right down here. If you are following me over on Facebook, thank you very much for all your love and all your support. If you're not following me and you are watching me, then go on over there, hit that little follow button, and turn on the notifications. That way, every time that I come live or I bring recorded content, you are always being informed. And while we're talking about Facebook, if you are not following the Nomad Gamers, head on over to their page, give them a follow, turn on your notifications. That way, when myself and the other two knuckleheads go live, you're being notified. Now, if you are watching me over on YouTube, thank you so much. You have found the home of the Nomad Gamers. Somewhere right over here, you're going to see a subscribe button. Somewhere right over here, you're going to see a heart button. Somewhere over here, where am I at? Right here, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Smash all three of those. That way, every time that Nomad Gamers come at you with a live content, my streaming, or one of our episodes, you are being notified immediately. Now, I'm getting into this TikTok thing, and I almost got everything set up. So if you want to, you can follow me over here on TikTok. My handle over there is Godfather1. Again, that's Godfather1. And all the way in that corner over there in the bottom, over where you can see the comments at, you will see my Twitch handle, which is Godfather09. Head on over there and give me a follow. If you're watching me on any of these socials, thank you very much. And now let's get this party started, shall we? Oh, look at that. We already have one viewer on Twitch. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. So the hot topic of this week, and if you're, well, you don't know, but you'll have to tune into the Nomad Gamers podcast to find out all of our reactions to the big news coming out of Rockstar last week, which was Grand Theft Auto 6 being delayed by another 6 months. Uh, I've said my piece on it. I've said everything I want to say on it. So we are not going to go too much further into that tonight. I checked Rockstar on Facebook, and there is nothing there. They are almost like radio silence, and that could be because all the hype going on uh, with the delay of Grand Theft Auto 6. And you know what? As much as I am disappointed and pissed off about it, let's have them get it right and let's have a good game. And I just realized this when I looked at it. It's set for May 26th of 2026. That's Memorial Day weekend. That is a long weekend. If you were to take vacation, that's like a day you don't have to take for vacation. So they're doing a pretty good job. So just give them some slack. I know I'm one that needs to take my own advice. I haven't been giving them too much, but I'll have to start giving them some. So over on Fallout, you know all of our normal games that we like to look into. We like to look into Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Online. We like to look at Fallout 4, Fallout 76, a little bit of Minecraft. We're going to throw in a new one. The new one is Star Trek Online, and we'll get to talking about that here in a minute. So something just happened. I don't know what, but something. I'm still learning all the little dings and doons and everything else. 6 hours ago from Fallout, still need to complete season 20? Question mark. Double Score is running from May 8th until May 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So complete those challenges and rank up. Hashtag Fallout 76. 2 days ago, the big bloom has sprung in Fallout 76 at the top of every hour. Join in on the big bloom event. New floral rewards await you. That doesn't sound so hot there, Bethesda. And then 6 days ago, that would have been the day after Thirsty Thursday last week. So, yeah, let's go ahead and read it. You have until May 6th. Never mind. This is old news. Old news. Just forget it. Let's move on. Let's go over and let's see what's going on with Starfield. Now, I'm really hoping that they put something out. Otherwise, this Thirsty Thursday is going to be kind of a short one because I'm going to be running out of shit to talk about. The two biggest things I like to talk about, they haven't really posted much. In Fallout 76, I'm sad to say I haven't gotten back into that yet. 8 hours ago, Starfield for the win. Day 1, Strike from Above. Unlock a powerful new ship attachment, Skydrops. Allow your fleet to provide support drops, rain down attacks from orbit to help you as you adventure planetside. When. Wait a minute. Starfield shared this and they fooled me thinking that this was theirs. Because I was just about to say, when did Starfield start having a fleet? You know, we'll get back. We'll come back to that little gem, but let me talk about that. That is the perfect thing. The next update for Starfield needs to be. Oh wait, it's only single player. That won't work. See, they screwed the pooch when they did this. They really did. What they should have done when they brought out Starfield, and they could probably still do it, maybe with a Starfield 2 or a it's a little too early to talk remaster, or take the concept of Starfield and start coming up with a new game for it, but have an open world where you have other people playing too. And you can have PvP, you can have PvE, you can have all this other good stuff. But instead of having a crew, you could have a fleet. And maybe that fleet could then, I don't know, start building a starbase or start building an outpost or having their own territory. That's what some of these games are lacking. You're lacking in the whole fact of the massive multi-world or multi-open world is a good idea to some respects, as long as it doesn't flop like Fallout 76 did when it first came out. But I think that a massive open world like that for the console or even the PC would be a great thing. And then you have fleets. I love that idea. That idea for me sounds amazing. So Bethesda, if you're out there, come on over and pick Godfather's brain. I've got a few damn good ideas for you. All right, let's keep going on. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. 2 days ago, Starfield posted a new faction. A new faction has emerged from the shadows to protect humanity from the potential threats, and identified you as their latest target. What the hell? This is another Kingath Creations coming to Starfield on May 20th. I don't know. I'm not getting this. Let's see what this is. Hmm. I don't know. This might be a new DLC about ready to drop. Because I went over to that site and they had posted something from Starfield, so I don't know. I just don't know. And then the next one is May 1st. But let's talk about that for a minute because that's an interesting idea that I have never thought of. While I enjoy the single player mode that they're in right now, because the single player to me, even with all of its flaws, reminds me a lot of Fallout, a lot of Fallout 3, a lot of Fallout 4. It has its flaws, sure, but hopefully they keep this franchise going. And I'm not smart enough to say how they would bridge that gap into the next into the next iteration of it. But I would say, come out with another Starfield and have it be multi-open, uh, an open world, and allow players to do what like World of Warcraft is doing, like what Star Trek is doing, both online and mobile. You know, have it to where you can have a community, because that's one of my biggest complaints about Grand Theft Auto 5 too, is that they have the crew, they have everything in place. The problem with it is that they give it's so cheap that you don't have to have a crew to be able to get all of these buildings or all of these facilities. And I would almost argue that if Starfield could pull it off, and I just saw another space game when I was cruising YouTube before I came on air, then I need to check out because it looks pretty damn cool. I want an open world one where you have a fleet, where you can build your own star base, where you can move your star base, where you can take territory, where you can patrol, where you can get as creative as you want, and then also make it to where you can have a PVE to where you can't get attacked. Have PvP, have PvE, or make it to where some people can declare that they're peaceful only and they don't want PvP action, and run the game that way, because that is another big flaw, not only with Grand Theft Auto, but with Red Dead Online. I was around for Fallout 76 when they were allowing PvP, and yes, it was annoying when somebody would just jump through, absolutely smoke you, blow up everything you've worked on, and then bounce out. Bethesda's answer to that was to completely nerf the PvP. And I don't, when I say nerf to PvP, I mean in the open world, not in Vault 51 that they made just for PvP. Maybe have your own world to where you can mix it up on PvP. That's one of the things that's missing. You have the game like Arma. You have a game like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead where you can incorporate these things, and they choose not to. And then for a while, it kind of felt like Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar were forcing you to go into a crew for like your MC jobs and your drug running and all that stuff. But on the other end, they were making everything so easy to get to where you could run your own enterprise that nobody wanted to be loyal to a crew. It was like, why be loyal? But then it got boring because like I'd have all my stuff and I would be playing with, let's say, Fireball and Chungus. We get done with all my stuff and then we would jump to their stuff. So we're essentially doing the same thing 3 times in a row, maybe in just different orders. But if you were to have a crew centered missions to where, make them hard, make them to where uh they're worthwhile. So that's my thoughts on that. I go off on these tangents every now and again, but I kind of wish that they would do. I don't even care if it was a sea battle, like Pirates of the Caribbean or something. You can't take Pirates of the Caribbean because it's already a game, but you know what I mean. Make something to where you can have more titles to that franchise and be following a linear line. For instance, I'll just give you an instance. A pirate game centered in the Caribbean. You could literally start that game in the year 1499 or 1500 or 5 years after Columbus made the jump over the Atlantic Ocean. Now, whether you agree that he discovered America or not, I'm not here to debate that. I really don't care. But that is a date that everybody knows. Everybody can pretty much go, oh yeah, when Christopher Columbus set foot on America, which he didn't, but uh, you get my drift. You go from that date for game one that goes over to a 2-year period. And I'm not saying 2 years in human like our time frame. I'm talking in game time frame. And then 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road, when you release the second iteration of it or a DLC, you could accelerate that by another year or bring out a whole new game that builds on it. And now, let's say New Orleans is being built up, or St. Augustine is being built up, or Kingston is being built up in Jamaica. And you can just keep going, but you've got this wide berth of time to where you could write any story you want. You don't have to stay historical. That would be cool. But my problem with some of these games is that they jump back and forth. One of the biggest ones is Red Dead Redemption. One was set before two. You're throwing off your your soon to be fans, the people who are going to fall in love with your game. All right, enough about that. Let's move over to our favorite one. By the way, has anyone seen the movie, uh, the Minecraft movie? I have not seen it. I don't have any reason to go see it. I will wait till it is streaming, and then I will catch it on whatever streaming network I have. If you have watched the movie, leave me a comment down here. I check all my socials all the time, so if you leave me a comment, I will see it. All right, let's see what's going on in the Minecraft world now. And then we're going to get into some Star Trek, and that's probably going to end our Thirsty Thursday. Uh, 5 hours ago, stack your snacks, chill your drinks, adventure awaits. Minecraft times Igloo is here. So, hang on a second, I got to respond to something. Um, yeah, there's something going on. So yeah, leave something in my comments. Let me know if you've seen it. Let me know that whatever. What's your review of it? Is it a good movie? Is it a bad movie? Does it follow the gaming timeline? Does it not follow it? Is it a little too bullshitish? Um, just let me know. I'd love to know. Okay, Flat World presets are now out on Bedrock Edition. I thought that was already here. I could have sworn that was already here. Whether you prefer to build on a clean slate or have an aversion to a pointy landscape, now you can have your pick of several exciting in-game presets. Learn more, and they give you a hyperlink. So here's what I'm going to say for this: is when you're starting out, I wouldn't know too much about starting out a new world on Minecraft. As everybody knows, I've been playing on the Nomad Gamers realm for the last 2 years now, and we have put a lot of time and a lot of work into that realm. However, we got very lucky with that realm too. When I built a world because I just wanted to build, I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. The world was too wavy for me. Like you couldn't find a little cove to build in. Everything was like real wavy, and if you tried to chop it up, it it took forever to landscape it. I got a comment now coming from Zanar Crust Rider. All they did was add more options when creating a world. Are you talking about that Bedrock edition? Because I could have sworn it was already there. While we're waiting for his answer, um, but our realm, we did catch a break. We did find a cove that was nice and flat for the most part, and we were able to build on that. It's multi-layer. Uh, one of these days when I am streaming, I'm going to get on there and kind of take you guys through a tour of our realm. a lot of the builds, a lot of the complex builds, we got step by step from creators on YouTube. We would be sitting on our PS5, on Xbox, or our PC, and we would be watching YouTube and pausing it, building it, playing it, pausing it, building it again, pausing it again, doing that until we got to build correct. Sweet Kitty Pie made a beautiful building. In fact, you know what? That might be what I do tomorrow night after I get back from the doctors. Is take everybody on a ride, on a little cruise throughout the Nomad Gamers Land. But all of the builds, as far as buildings go, are Sweet Kitty Pie. All of the decorations are Sweet Kitty Pie. 99.9% of all the redstone builds are mine. And I got all of my inspiration from YouTube. Uh, I'm sorry, I got stuff going on in real world too, so I'm trying to keep track of both. So, yeah, you had world type options. They expanded upon them. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to take your word for it, Crest Rider, because I could almost swear I know for a fact I did the Flat World, and then they had all kinds of other worlds, and I was trying to find one where you had a little bit more than just the 3 blocks up for like 50 blocks, and it drops by 2 blocks, and it goes over. I tried the Flat World. There was no texture to it. There was no heart and soul to it. So I dumped that one and went to another one. I want to make some tweaks to your auto smelter. Make it so you can run multiple carts rather than only one. I'm up for anything. Go ahead and knock it out. Um, to tell you the truth, I haven't ran that auto smelter in probably, I want to say about 6 to 8 months now, only because we've been so far away from our base camp that uh, it would literally take us 20 minutes to get back to that camp just to do anything. That thing is beautiful, but I saw some ways I could improve it. Thank you for the compliment. Again, that was a that was a inspiration that I got from YouTube. And what I did on that was I would play it for a little bit, I would pause it, I would build what I had just saw, then I would unpause it, let it go, and then I'd build it. Later on, when I was doing like my automatic tree farm, I would actually build it in a test realm or a test world. And once I got the hint of it, or once I felt like it was pretty groovy, I would go over to the real realm and then do it there. And I did that with quite a few. When I take you guys on this tour, you're going to see that automatic tree farm, and then you're going to see an empty room. That was going to be an automatic bone smelter. And what I might do is I might do that once again, where I cruise uh, YouTube, do it on a test realm, and then bring it back to the real realm. But that entire realm has been a realm of love, support, and emotional support more than anything else. Because I was deployed there for 10 months, and that's how me and Sweet Kitty Pie were able to talk at night and let me unwind, was by playing Minecraft and being on Facebook or FaceTime and just conversing, just playing Minecraft. And when you take a look through all this, you're going to go, wow, there is a lot of time involved. Yes, yes, there is. All right, so the new game I've been playing, the new game, now that I got my gaming laptop, um, the new game I've started playing was Star Trek Online. This is an amazing game. Uh, when I had a weaker computer, I only liked it because I was a Star Trek fan. I've been a Star Trek fan since the mid 80s. And when I saw this one and that it was free, I decided to jump in and take a look at it. It gives me World of Warcraft vibes, but in the Star Trek universe. The thing I don't like about it, one thing I did find I don't like, is you need 5 people on your team to make a fleet. I kind of wish they would drop that to just one. I get why they're doing it with 5, because if you're running a free game, a free multi, this game's huge. If you're running it for free, then yeah, you need to save your resources. Hang on. I'm getting my boy into Star Trek. He's watched the original series and is working on Next Generation now. That is amazing. Um, I highly, highly suggest it after he's done with the Next Generation that you guys go and watch Deep Space Nine. It starts off kind of slow, but once you start going into it, how far into the Next Generation has your boy gotten? And the reason why I say that is because okay, then you know all about Worf and uh Mr. O'Brien both being on Deep Space Nine, and that's kind of like the bridge to Star Trek: The Next Generation. Uh, Voyager, Voyager has grown on me. I kind of feel like Voyager is where Star Trek started to come off of its rails just a little bit. I get what they were trying to do with Voyager. I get the storyline. There's just a lot of it that I don't know. Maybe it is that I am very biased towards NCC 1701D, or actually A through D, and now G, E, and F, I think. Maybe I'm just biased towards that. But what I would love to see, yes, Voyager is good. I'm not gonna say it's not good. What I'm trying to say is, as an avid Star Trek fan, I like what they were trying to do. I really do. They were trying to bring a new story. Where they effed up at is how long has it been since Voyager went off the air, and we haven't had nothing else of Voyager. I'm very disappointed right now in Star Trek because Discovery was a hot fucking mess, and Strange New Worlds, I almost feel like they're trying to rewrite history. And I hate when, and this goes for games or TV shows or movies, because Star Trek truly traverses all of them. It has its own TV shows, it has its own movie line, and now it has its own game line. No, but at the same time, Deep Space Nine was kind of a collaboration between the Bajorans and Starfleet. And once you get up to season 5, the very end of it, when they start the Dominion War, um, you kind of see that trade off with Starfleet and the Bajorans. Uh, do I do I agree with the entire storyline? No. However, um, hold on. I think Nemesis not doing so well killed off any potential future movies. No, actually, Nemesis didn't kill off any potential future movies. Star Trek is such a vast storyline that you could literally go in any direction. However, where I feel like they've gotten away from their roots is when they started trying to rewrite canon. Well, yes, DS9 did. Voyager did not. Um, when you come down to a space station, yes, that can reach an end. Voyager is a lot like the USS Enterprise, where you could have, and I feel terrible for saying this, but I do not remember Voyager's designation, so I will use the Enterprises. The USS or the NCC 1701 slash A or dash A, dash B, dash C. You see how they kept that storyline going with the Enterprise just with a new crew. You can run your story out with Voyager and then do what they did with the Next Generation and introduce fans to a whole new crew with Voyager. Some of the problem is, and this isn't really Gene Roddenberry's fault. This isn't CBS's fault. This isn't Star Trek's fault. Nobody knew that Star Trek was going to get this goddamn popular because the original series was canceled once, brought back, and then it caught fire. They let the whole between the original Enterprise, the Enterprise A, you knew that story, but then it jumped from the A to the D. We saw a little bit of B in the movie, and then they had to explain to us what happened to the C in the movie, in the TV show. Then we got to learn about the Enterprise G in Picard. Oh, whoa. Okay. I got to go up just a little bit. That was a long comment, but thank you for it. The entire story of Voyager was being lost in the Delta Quadrant. Once they got home, things changed. Janeway was immediately promoted to Admiral, which she deserved, and taken off the ship in the novels. Chakotay continued on as captain. Correct. However, we have all seen how the books can say one thing and the TV show can go in the opposite direction or in a new direction. It's not Roddenberry's fault because he passed in the early 90s just after DS9 started, but before Voyager started. You are 100% correct, and that's exactly what I said. This ain't Roddenberry's fault. Roddenberry put out a hell of a vision for Star Trek. If CBS or whoever the hell owns, I think it's Paramount who owns Star Trek, if they were smart, how many goddamn vessels do they got? How many stories could they make? Discovery sucked. Discovery broke every damn rule of Starfleet. The Strange New Worlds is trying to rewrite history with Mr. Spock in a way that I really don't like and I can't support. But I digress into TV and movies. You are completely correct, Crest Rider. And there's a lot of documentaries out there that absolutely back up your comment on what you just said. But let's get back to the game. The game is awesome. If you have not played it, it is available on Steam for free. For free. I will figure out what server I'm on, and I will publish that on Godfather's page. Once I get 5, we will start a Nomad Gamers fleet on Star Trek Online. The one thing I do not like about Star Trek Online, I absolutely despise it about it, is how the story it flows. It takes a lot to find your quest from one quadrant to the other or from one system to the other. It's not like World of Warcraft where you start out in Stormwind, you go to Goldshire. From Goldshire, you go out here, you run 1,000 different quests. I'm being very facetious, whatever. I'm kind of going out there when I say 1,000. That's a huge number, and that's not it. But unlike World of Warcraft, where you progress from Stormwind to Ironforge and then beyond to Dalarian, Star Trek Online does not do that. You start out at Earth Space Dock, and then they just kind of kick you out, and away you go. You kind of have to find your goddamn quest from there. But I'm starting to understand it. I'm starting to figure it out. To get dilithium, you have to do the daily quest, and you have to do the daily. It's almost like combat. Go back to my game stream from yesterday, and you will see all of that. Uh, I've tried it. I haven't been able to stick with it, but maybe I'll give it a shot again. Let me know when you're ready to get on there, Crest Rider, and then I will go over to our Discord, and I'll be on voice chat over there. But yeah, that's one of the big things about that game that I really don't like is how hard it is to follow along on the quests. So, but ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, there's times where real life crashes into gaming. I do have something emerging that is going to cut Thirsty Thursday short. I do apologize. I will be streaming tomorrow night. May not be at 4 p.m. Central Time. It'll probably be more like 5 or 6. I'll try and extend that out to, instead of ending at 7, I'll probably end it at 9, maybe 10. Be looking for that. Be scanning Godfather's page. I do have to get running. I got to get somewhere else because I have a real world thing going on. But with that being said, game true, game hard, always, and I mean always, game on. If you run across a griefer and that griefer needs blown the fuck up, you blow that motherfucker up. Thank you so much for watching Thirsty Thursday. Thank you so much for your love and your support and your continued support. Share our content, please. Follow our content, please. With that being said, peace and love